Hi, I'm Mike, PokeTips Mike, and today we actually got some new information about Pokemon Sword and Shield. So about an hour ago, Pokemon actually dropped not one, but two brand new trailers for Sword and Shield. These trailers basically both focused on the Isle of Armor DLC that's set to come out this June, and while they didn't give us a crazy amount of information, we did get to learn some interesting stuff, like how Galarian Slowpoke isn't really that slow. So starting things off today, we actually got to learn a decent amount of information about the Gigantamax forms for the starter Pokemon. Also, throwback to when I thought Gigantamax was pronounced Gigantamax. You guys let me go ahead and say that seriously. So first things first, the names of the Gigantamax moves were revealed. Rillaboom's Gigantamax move is going to be called G-Max Drum Solo. Cinderace gets one called G-Max Fireball, and Gigantamax Inteleon's move is going to be called G-Max Hydro Snipe. Now, all three of these moves were described as being more powerful than your average max move, and they also all have the same secondary effect. And that secondary effect is actually really good. So basically, when you use any of these G-Max moves, they'll always ignore your opponent's special ability. In the trailer, they showed this off really well. They showed Rillaboom attacking a Shedinja, which we all know has the ability Wonder Guard, which makes it so only super effective hits can hit it, but since these G-Max moves ignore the abilities, that Rillaboom was able to say, "Not today," boom, and knock it out. They also showed how it's useful against Mimikyu. It ignores its ability, so it can attack the Mimikyu even with the disguise up. And I'm assuming they also showed Inteleon attacking a Gastrodon with the ability Storm Drain, which normally makes it so water moves don't hit it. But again, these G-Max moves don't care about that, and it just went right through. So with all that, you're probably wondering how to get these Gigantamax Pokemon, and unfortunately, we're not 100% sure just yet. In the trailer, they said it's going to be as a reward for your adventure in the Isle of Armor, so I'm assuming that means once you're done with the DLC, the Isle of Armor storyline, something will happen, you'll get an item, you'll talk to somebody, and they'll give your starter Pokemon the ability to Gigantamax. Now, moving away from the starter Gigantamax forms, let's talk a little bit about the Isle of Armor and the legendary Pokemon that you'll be getting there. Today's new trailer showed us a little bit about the Isle of Armor. We got to see a few little beautiful scenes of the island itself, like fishing areas with raids going on in the background, beautiful open fields, and the dojo. And like we already knew, when you train at the dojo, you'll be able to get the Pokemon Kubfu. The Master Mustard, still can't believe that's his name, is just gonna give it to you. However, today we did find out that through training Kubfu, you'll actually be able to challenge the Tower of Two Fists. On the Isle of Armor, there's actually two different towers, the Tower of Darkness and the Tower of Waters, and unfortunately, you're only going to be able to challenge one of the towers. Now, this choice is very important, probably one of the most important decisions you can make in your Pokemon game, because depending on which tower you challenge, that determines what form of Urshifu your Kubfu evolves into. So now we have direct confirmation that the two forms of Urshifu, the Single Strike and Rapid Strike forms, they're not version exclusives, but it depends on which tower you choose to fight. If you fight the Tower of Darkness, your Kubfu will eventually evolve into the Single Strike form of Urshifu, but if you fight the Tower of Waters, it will eventually evolve into the Rapid Strike form. I actually really like how you can choose between the Urshifu forms instead of them being version exclusives, but now it raises the question, which one is going to be better? In the comments, let me know which one you think is going to be better, Single Strike style or Rapid Strike style. Now third, the trailer also showed off some more cool stuff we're going to be getting in the form of customization. So obviously we're getting new clothing items, but we're also getting new ways to customize the League cards as well, with backgrounds, frames, effects, and more. Also, up until Monday, August 31st, if you buy the DLC, Pokemon is going to give you a code so you can get Leon's outfit in Sword and Shield, which is pretty cool. This outfit is not going to be available though until the Isle of Armor DLC comes out. And last but certainly not least, this I actually find really interesting, is we got to see a map for the Isle of Armor. In the trailer, they actually showed you taking Corviknight over from the Galar region over to the Isle of Armor, and if you pause the trailer at just the right moment, you actually get to look really closely at the map. Now, at first glance, the island itself doesn't really look too big. However, from what we've seen in the trailers, it does look like it's bigger in-game than it actually is on the map, although I am a little disappointed just looking at this map how small it was. I was hoping it would be a little bit bigger, but again, it might be bigger in-game once I could actually play it. But again, I'm wondering how the train actually gets to the island. I guess it goes underwater, because I don't see any above ground train tracks here. We could also see where the dojo is and a little battle area, plenty of grassy areas, the two towers, a nice little cave system, which actually looks like it has a lot of little entrances if these slightly darker areas are actually entrances, which it looks like they are. And I'm also pretty intrigued by what this little island with the tree is right here. It's such an odd shape, I really wonder what's gonna be there. And I'm also wondering what this little crown area is over here too. Is that anything? Is that just something nice on the map? I really don't know. So again, the map does look kind of small when you just take it in isolation like this. However, with all the cave entrances, the two towers, even though you can only go to one of them, the dojo, the little wheel island over here, and of course, the raid battles all over the island, I'm sure we're gonna have plenty of fun stuff to do with this DLC update. So my friends, that's the new information we received today about Pokemon Sword and Shield. In the comments, let me know what you thought about it. Are you excited for the DLC, especially since we're what, like 2 months away from it right now? Personally, I can't wait. I'm ready to play some more new content in Sword and Shield, and I'm hoping we get it earlier on in June rather than later on in June. They say June, so it could come out on June 30th. Since we don't have a specific date for the release yet, I'm assuming they're still working on it right now and polishing everything up. Otherwise, I'm sure they would just come out and give us a release date, but I'm pretty excited. We're getting very close to the release of the first ever DLC for Pokemon, and this is gonna be a game changer, I'm sure. So my friends, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you haven't already, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want to see some more Pokemon content, and my friends, I'll be seeing you in the next one.